Hello everyone and welcome to this video. My name is Joe, and in this video I'm gonna show you how you can run a basic accounting task on the main accounting programs in the market. So what we're gonna do is the following. We're gonna take this totally made up example that I created in order to see how we can run a basic accounting task on the main accounting programs in the market. So the first software that we're gonna be dealing with is Quickbooks. This is the first one. The second one that we're gonna be dealing with is Xero. The third one that we're gonna be dealing with is Tpoint. So this is the third one, but actually this is still under development. Alright. Now going back to the scenario, we see that the scenario is all about Mr. John Smith making an order from us, from the English cake company. He's making a 300 cake order for Christmas, and we will be charging him $5 per cake and $2 per box delivered. So that was on the income side. Now if we go to the expense side, everything related to our expenses, to our bills, to our suppliers, we'll see that we have Mr. Charles Adams, who is our food supplier, and we'll be buying our ingredients from him. He provides us with the finest natural and organic ingredients, and we will pay him $2.66 per cake in terms of the price of the ingredients required to prepare one cake. Now for the delivery, it will cost us $1 per package delivered to pay for our delivery man. So you see that this totally made up example is quite straightforward. We just have one order, one invoice that we'll be sending over to Mr. John Smith, one bill that we'll be paying to Charles Adams, and one accounting statement that we'll be able to generate through our accounting software. So the first platform that we're gonna be using is Quickbooks. As you can see, I'm on the dashboard of Quickbooks. I click on the new button, then I click on invoice, because our goal is to create a new invoice. It takes me to the invoice page on which I can add a company logo and a customer. So for the customer, we need to add Mr. John Smith. You can add it right here with all the contact information, his email address, his phone number, his billing address, and then you save the contact. Then, for the product or the service, we need to add the sales of our cakes. It's by the item. We sold 300 cakes with a unit price of $5 per cake. So we have the automatic answer done by the program. It was computed by Quickbooks. Now we can put an item description. We say that this is the sales of 300 cakes, for example. Now going to the next item, we need to add the delivery. So here is a new item. It's service. It's by item actually. The item price is $2. We save it. And then we have 30 deliveries. So we update the quantity. And 30 times 2 is $60. Now we need to set up our sales tax. So it's an automatic sales tax based on our location. We copy and paste our company's location, and it should be computed automatically. We save it, and you can see here that it's 6% for the DC state tax. So back to the invoice page, we see that it was taken into account. It's $93.6. Now we save the invoice, and we can email it to Mr. John Smith by clicking on the email button down there. So here we have a preview of the email that we'll be sending over to Mr. John Smith. And we could also send ourselves a copy by ticking the send me a copy box. Now we click on the send button to send it over. We go and check our inbox to see if we received a copy of the email, and indeed we see that we've received a copy of the invoice that we sent over to Mr. John Smith. So if I click on the PDF, you can see that here is the invoice. Now if I go back to my dashboard and visit the Business Overview tab, we can easily see that I have an invoice that's still unpaid. So if I click on it, I'll have some more information regarding my invoices. You can see here that we have the date, the customer, the status of the invoice, and other information on this page. Alright, so that was for the invoices. Now let's create some bills, some expenses. By clicking on the new button, then the expense button, it takes us to the expense page. Now for the expenses, we need to add Mr. Charles Adams as our food supplier, and some other information regarding the payment date and the payment method. So now for the line items of the bill that we are creating, first we need to select the COGS, the cost of goods sold. This basically represents our cost of ingredients. It's $2.66 times 300 cakes. It will give us $800. And then we have the delivery. So this is the delivery. It's by category, so we'll add the corresponding category. Shipping, and then we add the description. And for the amount, it's $1 times 30, so $30. And our next step would be to save this expense that we just created. It's now saved, and we save and close. Now back to the dashboard. If we click on the profit and loss section, we see that we have a P&L that was generated automatically by the system. So we can print out this P&L report, save it offline, email it, and yeah, that's it. Very convenient. So here it is. So now that we've explored the first platform, QuickBooks, I suggest that we move on to the next one, Xero, Xero.com. Once you create your account on Xero.com, you'll be taken to this front page, this dashboard, and we're gonna repeat the same steps that we've done on QuickBooks. First off, we'll need to add the information that's on our invoice. To do that, we'll go to the Business tab, click on Invoices, and it takes us to the Invoices page. We'll click on New Invoice, and here we have a table full of information that we'll need to fill out. So we need to add the email of Mr. John Smith, then the date, then the due date, then the invoice number, and then the currency. We'll now need to add the different items. So the first item is our cakes that we need to deliver, the 300 cakes with the unit price of $5 per cake. And then we need to find the correct sales account. So I'm gonna pick just sales. And then here we have the option to select our tax rate. Now if I click on save, I'll get an error because I didn't put an item code, so I'll have to add an item code. I'll just put a random number. Let's save it now. So yeah, it should work now. Great. Now, because I've picked up the auto lookup tax rate, the next step is to just enter my physical address, the physical address of the English Cake Company, and it will automatically compute the tax rate for us in a similar fashion to the QuickBooks software. So here we put the address, then the state, then we agree to the terms of use. Alright, so now I'm back to the table. We need to modify the quantities, so we have 300 cakes, $5 a unit. Then we add the next item, which is the delivery. We add all the necessary information. We save. So here we are with a subtotal of 1,560 and taxes and a grand total of 1,653. So if we compare it to the grand total of QuickBooks, we see that it's exactly the same. Now let's go back to the dashboard and try to create a bill for our expenses. So we click on the business tab. Okay, here I mistakenly clicked on the invoices tab. I'm gonna go back to the bills, and then we click on the bills to pay. It takes us to the page related to the expenses. Now here we add the information of our supplier. So it's Mr. Charles Adams. We add his email, the date, the due date, and then we choose the currency and we add the different line items. The first line item is the ingredients, which will cost us 2.66 per unit of cake. And the second line item is the cost of delivery. So basically you add all the information and delivery will cost us $1 per package delivered. We now save the information, and here we have all the details regarding our bill. We approve our bill. Now let's check if it was taken into account by the system. So yeah, here it is right in front of us. Now let's see what types of statements can we generate. So to do that, I'll click on the accounting tab, reports. It takes me to a page full of financial reports. We have different options, and the one that we'll select for now is the income statement. So here we are on the income statement. We have all the information regarding the sales, the income, the COGS, the OPEX, and the net income in the end. We can export this as a PDF, save it offline, or send it to our accountant via email. So here it is. All the information regarding our sales and expenses in one unique statement. So now we're done with our three main tasks. We created an invoice, we created a bill, and we created a statement. As you can see, it was very straightforward on Xero. We have an accounting tab for the statements, and we have a business tab for everything related to the business. So everything related to the invoices and expenses and other things. So we saw that it's an easy platform with lots of features. Now for the beginners, it could be quite complex to grasp all these different features. Like, compared with QuickBooks, I think that QuickBooks is easier to use for the beginners. Now let's move on to the third platform, Tpoint. So this platform is still under development, but we'll try it out to see what we can do with it. Try random company. It takes us to a page where we see all our accounts and all the different options available. So first off, we try to create an order. And by clicking on new order, we're taken into a page where we have an overview of the job and the invoices and the different bills. So what's beautiful about Tpoint is the fact that we have an overview of everything on one page. So let's start by adding the different line items on the invoices list. We put the cakes, then the delivery, and then we put all the necessary information for the formula. So it's 300 cakes times 5 in euros. And for the deliveries, it's 30 times 2. The next step would be to go to the bills list and add all the necessary information regarding the cost of preparation of the cakes and the cost of delivery. So for the cakes, it's it's 2.66 times 300, and for the delivery it's $1 per package delivered. The last thing that we need to add and that we forgot to add is the VAT. We'll add it on the third line of the invoices list and the bills list. Yeah, so as you can see, the VAT is computed in an automatic manner. We just have to add it. If we go to the bills section, we'll have to do the same and add it. So VAT of 24%, and it's computed automatically. So here we can see a recap of our order with the different line items of the invoice and the bill. Now for the third task that concerns the statement, let's see what we can do about it. So we click on the Finances tab, we go to the chart of accounts, and here we can see that we have different accounts. We have assets, liabilities, and profit and losses. So to import new accounts, we can click on the tab called Next on the top of the screen. We click on Import Accounts, and we have a list of different accounts that we can import. We could also modify the items and the codes. Once we've done that, we click on the Import button, and they will be imported to our software. Alright, so now that we have imported the different accounts, we go to the general ledger, because this is where we'll be adding our different accounts. So we are on the general ledger page, and on the top right corner of the screen you can see a button called Next, and using this tab we can add all the invoices and bills that we have. Once we've added them, the next step would be to click on the top right corner of the screen on the Next tab in order to generate a statement. By clicking on Trial Balance, we have a first overview of a statement. Now we can export it to Excel as well. So here it is, a downloaded Excel file that we can open up and send to our accountant, because it looks like slightly more advanced than a normal P&L, and it has all the profit and losses and assets and liabilities, and this is something that would not be easily read by the average person, so it should be handled by an accountant. Alright, so that was it for this video. We explored 3 different programs: Quickbooks, Xero, and Tpoint. We were able to use a very simple example to see how can we implement this very simple example on the 3 different programs. I hope that you enjoyed our video and this quick tutorial, and hope to see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, we appreciate it, and see you soon.